These kids aren't coming here just to have a good time. They're being forced out of their countries, either by poverty or by violence. To a person, they are more comfortable in their cultures than they are here. This is very alien for all these kids, but it just is not tenable. They're coming from crisis and then they're coming here.
Of course, they're always welcome and we do the best we can, and our job, of course, is to teach them English. But we're dealing with issues that we've never had to deal with before. And with the increase of a population comes an increase of problems and challenges.
Teaching newcomers is particularly challenging, I think, because they have so many different backgrounds. Some have interrupted education. You may have a variety of languages in your classroom, and you have to be very creative in coming up with solutions that are going to work across the spectrum of students that you have.
These are kids who could offer a lot to this society.
Narmeen grew up in war-torn Baghdad. When her father was hired by the Americans to transport war supplies, he was labeled a traitor by insurgents and kidnapped. Her mother kept the family in their home for a week while she gathered the money to pay his ransom. For 3 years, Narmeen's mother walked her to school past decomposing bodies on the side of the road. And when a bomb was thrown into their garage, the family realized they could not remain. They fled in the middle of the night to Syria. War erupted in Syria, so the family returned to Baghdad and lived in hiding for a month so they could get their passports. They then spent 2 years in Turkey before receiving refugee status and coming to the United States.
When I came here, I was happy because I came to America last year. Everybody, they say, I will be senior, I will be graduate from high school, I will be get my dream to be like a doctor or nurse. I will get everything in my future. Yeah, that was happy. When I get my report card, yeah, I see my grade is really good.
Well, with newcomers, you expect them to come with no English, but you don't necessarily expect them to come with no education at all. And it became very clear to me when I started teaching this year that there's a huge divide, sometimes not just in half, but in different levels in terms of students that come with great education, they've been in school in their home country, they were studying, they know how to handle books. On the complete other end of that are the students that have never been in school.
Monique was born in a village in Central African Republic, but her family was forced by violence to leave when she was just 5. They abandoned the family farm and walked 24 miles to Chad, where they lived in different refugee camps for the next decade. Before coming to America, Monique had not known indoor plumbing or computers. She had never learned to read or write. After arriving in Baltimore, the family had to be taught how to use a light switch, stove, and refrigerator.
I don't think she had ever been to school. She speaks Sango and another tribal language, and she didn't read or write in any language. So trying to figure out how to get her started with reading was a bit of a challenge.
My name is Monique and my from is Central Africa because
Students who haven't been in school, when they come here, they're already experiencing the trauma of moving across the world, and then we expect them to function in an American's classroom the way that we do. Sit down, listen to me, I'm your teacher, you have to listen to me. Like they don't come with those skills of how to be a student.
When Excel was 8 years old, growing up in a small mountain town in Guatemala, his mother left the family for the United States. His father left them a few months later. Excel, his siblings, and cousins were taken in by his grandparents. His grandfather treated him harshly, putting him to work on their farm for 11 hours a day. At age 9, he liberated himself, riding off on an old bicycle.
And then when I was 10, I moved to the city because I wanted to be in school and all that stuff, because my grandma lives in a little village and there's not education and all that.
Excel then worked as a carpenter's assistant for $18 a week, which was just enough to pay for food and a small room. As a teenager with no chance to go to high school and violence around him, he left for the United States. But he was captured at the border and detained for a month before reconnecting with his mother in Baltimore.
And she wanted me to work jobs, and I had to work after school, so it was really hard to be really concentrated in school. And sometimes I didn't have enough sleep, and I got sleepy in school, and I didn't have time to get the work done on time.
When they come here and they enter high school and they're expected to take that course load that every high school student takes in Maryland and graduate in 4 years, it's nearly impossible. So we look at a high rate of dropout. We look at a high rate of frustration and stress. So it's very, very rare that they're going to graduate in 4 years.
So the students with GPAs, cumulative GPAs 3.3 to 4.0. Amadou Ba, if you're here, just stand up.
I tell these stories about the hardships, and it's pretty shocking. But on the other side of the fulcrum there
Excel Estrada.
is the shock of how they come back, many of them, and the resilience that they display.
The reward for most progress in my class this year to Monique Ngoma.
A number of them can define goals and be motivated by goals and really push themselves.
I have to do hard work because I want to get scholarship to be a good college. Then I will study for my dream.
You can do something that is hard, but it's not forever, because life is changing in every hours that and you just have to work, do your best in those every single minute.